And greetings and salutations, everybody. I want to do a quick little after show here. Yes, I did quit uh, Antonio's little thing because I I get mad because of the fact that I get frustrated. I get frustrated with that level of just incoherent bullshit. Okay, um, and it's hard to have a discussion with somebody like that. But afterwards, I talked with my fellow voice of reason here, Sean, and Sean brought up an interesting point, and I'd like to share this with you guys. Oops.
Now, I didn't notice this until probably maybe 10 minutes before you left the Hangout.
Right.
And I knew you wouldn't respond, so I waited until you left before I sent you a message about it to say, will you check this out for me?
Now, please understand that this is open to a little bit deeper scrutiny than what we're about to give it. Okay, meaning that there is the possibility of this being a little bit off. I just want to point that out before we go any further, because this is very very short lived checking of something. First of all, let me run down a couple of points that were brought up in the hangout. Number one, camera angle does not change your the spatial relationship of objects in the distance. It doesn't. Period. Now, if you have objects that are really close to each other or close to the camera, excuse me, and you tilt the camera up and tilt the camera down from its center of balance versus the at the lens location. Oops, you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, it just for some reason it froze on me for a second. Um, if you turn it at its center of balance and you have close objects, obviously the lens is actually going to raise and lower, and that will make a change in the objects that you view. However, distant objects, this 1 or 2 centimeters that it might go up or down when you are changing the angle of a camera, are not even going to notice it.
Right. It's a little thing called parallax.
Right. Now, and in the case of Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens, hell, I could change the height of it from on the street to standing on top of my car while turning the camera, and it's not going to make a difference. Okay. But something else that I thought I would point out also is if you are going to mix what he called ratios with scale, then you're going to end up with the fucked up results that he had in his first video. Okay. There was absolutely nothing to be gained by that video. Absolutely nothing. I mean, literally, that's not me even, saying that he's lying or anything like that. There's nothing to be gained by doing what he did there. So, you can call that what you want. Now, one point that was brought up by Sean here, and I want to just knock this out right quick. What was the timestamp on that? Do you remember?
Oh, shit. Actually, I could pull up the screenshots.
Yeah.
Screenshot for Antonio JPEG.
Okay. Now I'm presenting my screen while you're doing that.
The first one is 228.
Okay. Well, I'm just worried about the Mount Rainier analog.
Oh god, I don't have that one on screen anymore.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, the at a point in the video,
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, at a point in the video, he's got these papers here are they're in a triangle form. Okay. This was the first thing that we were trying to discern. Now, the question was, how far apart are the legs of these triangles? Now, if you look at his Mount St. Helens analog, he's got it leaned forward so the facing side is actually upright to the camera.
I got it.
Oops.
Let me get to my Hangouts window. Where is my Hangouts window? Okay, I am still in the Hangout.
Yes, you are. But you know what's funny though? Remember the number we were using a little while ago about being 1.5?
Yeah.
Not about a fair 2.
Well, that's what I said. But yeah, you got the timestamp up already from the screenshot. The timestamp in Antonio's video is 45 seconds. If you guys want to verify this.
Okay. Now, This one is actually triangled, so it's, so the triangle is somewhat in the center. You can see that it's leaned back and the back is leaned forward. Now, if you were to put these together like this, as you can see here, it's about 2 centimeters apart at the bottom, which will lower the top. Now, unfortunately, we checked that out, and it really didn't make that much of a difference. However, let me tell you something that will make a difference.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Now, what I did was I made a comparison to the. This was I had to turn it on its side because anybody who's worked with PowerPoint knows that when you're around the 1 degree from level, it snaps into place. It doesn't let you make fine tunes. Okay. And then what I also did was I took. This was his. What do you call it? This was his picture of measuring those pieces of paper out. I have to make it a little bit more visible so you can actually see. Okay, this was him measuring those pieces of paper out. Right now, he's already about a centimeter and a half, or excuse me, about a millimeter and a half up.
Well, he does correct that when his at the top measurement, because you'll see that he's actually a centimeter and a half over the top, and he's still the distance between the one millimeter.
Yeah,
the distance is correct.
Okay,
the size.
So now the size of the piece of paper in this photo is correct, right?
Yep.
Now here's what I did. Now I'm going to make one here so I can move it around. What I did was I made this transparent because you see, if he were to change the fold at the top of the triangle here, it would look different, and then therefore we would know that something was up. Okay, and if he changed the writing, we would know something was up. It would be very easy to notice. I mean, he's an artist, but he ain't even that good. And so it would be very difficult to do that. But if you lay these over with the numbers being the same size on each, watch what happens. Now, it took me a little minute to get this, but watch what happens. Now, as you can see, well, let me go ahead and do this just so nobody can say that there's any kind of a bias going on here. Okay, now would you say that's fair for the bottom of the Mount Rainier paper?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make that a red line, and I'm going to make that. Oh, and by the way, I'd just like to give a shout out to the guy who's named Brian, who was in that video or in that hangout. I really appreciated his candor. I really did. I really appreciated that. Because I don't like just, yelling back and forth, and he actually brought it down a notch, which I thought was really cool. So I grouped these two together. I put a line there at the bottom. Now watch what happens when I line up the numbers here.
Anybody else notice that?
Does anybody else see a problem here?
This is why you are Antonio Suber Rats.
Okay, and let me ungroup that so I can get something at the same angle. Oops, shit. Didn't mean to do that. I just ungrouped it. Control V. There we go. He's got it a whole nother, I would say 3, if not 4 millimeters down. That's another 400 meters.
Yeah, Antonio, lay off the scissors.
So what that means is that when he got it down there and when he actually put it up to it, it's entirely possible. Now, like I said, we have to dive a little bit more scrutiny into this, but it's entirely possible that he lied.
He cut the bottom off of the Mount Rainier.
Cut the bottom off. See this? Cut the fucking bottom off by this much. Okay, just so you can see where I'm looking at here. Here's his handwriting, and here's his handwriting.
There you go.
He fucking lied.
No, he didn't lie. He just got dishonest like always.
Yeah. Now, if this turns out to be true, Antonio, you got some splaining to do. So I just thought I'd point that out. And yes, again, like I said, I quit that hangout because I have absolutely no tolerance for that level of bullshit. Okay. I mean, I really don't. So
Metal Jacket in chat just said, typical flat earther, always cutting logical corners. Literal wins too. No, he didn't cut the corner. He cut the whole bottom off.
Yeah, that's true. So that would be more like kneecapping the truth. So anyway, guys, just wanted to point that out. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Am I off on this? Might be off by a millimeter. Yeah, I was off by a millimeter. Sorry about that. I guess it was all that moving it around. Top layer on and off, please. Okay, well, actually, what I'm going to have to do there is I just adjust the transparency. I was asked to do this in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Cool?
Cool.
All right.
So this was a total accidental finding that Sly just thought of doing after I had told him about the whole legs being spread out thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him if he wanted to take this live tonight or if he wanted to wait until tomorrow or some other day.
And JS, I 100% agree with you for checking the scaling. So that's all I really got, guys. I'm sure
Antonio Scissorhands.
I just wanted to show you guys this. And I look forward to Antonio explaining the what do you call it? How things he's gonna use close objects, okay, when he tilts his camera up and down. I'm anticipating that, and it's very easy to make that look the way he wants to. He won't do it with distant, and I'm talking about greatly distant actual live objects. He probably won't do that. Because then you'll get the same result as what I had with the antenna in the building. And as far as the focus on the table, now some of you have been around for a little while and have seen my videos and probably remember when I did the Lego video across the hallway when it came to comparing the hill heights across a plane from a video I did a long time ago. And if you'll notice, the very thing that I was talking about in this video, which was, or in that hangout, was the lack of focus on the close to the table or close to the camera table edge. That lack of focus makes it so you cannot actually tell what height the camera is above or at the table. And also, because you didn't use anything that you could actually measure, it also makes it so that you can't actually rebuild that, which is why I choose to use Legos, because of the fact that Legos are universal. You can actually use them as a unit of measure if you needed to. So anyway, this is all I got, guys. It's 20 after 11 here. So and some of us actually do have to work tomorrow. And so Sean, I appreciate you swinging by and showing me this.
Welcome, man.
And so we'll see what comes out of this. I might actually get a chance tomorrow to do some filming on something that I'm working on, which is really going to be a lot of fun and really going to piss off a lot of flat earthers. So, but Antonio, until you can actually learn how to shut up and listen and perform some actual scale measurements and some scale videos, then you're just not going to be taken seriously. Okay, if you want to talk about how I walked up to the bridge and stuff like that, yeah, I walked up to the bridge, and guess what? The relationship between the antenna and the building didn't change. Okay, so y'all have fun with that. So that's all I got, guys. Sean, again, appreciate it. And everybody who swung by, holy shit, I got 130 people watching this right now.
Hey, you're still above Antonio before I sent all my people over to him.
No shit. Don't y'all have some presents to wrap, man? Get the fuck out of here. You guys all have a great night.